warmability, however you want to say it. Your 5 exercises today. First is going to be clamshell, super clamshell. If you guys have a band, you're going to loop that band up under your knee. Position is making sure that elbow is under the shoulder, lower hips off the ground, and you're opening up that hip, getting the outside of the hip fired up. Make sure the elbow's under the shoulder, nice proud chest. Holding that, getting a little bit of core action in there. You're gonna do 12 each side. I got one for you, Kim.
Okay.
12 each side with those. Next up, alternating straight leg raise, or as John T calls them in Pilates, scissor kicks. Up, legs are straight, clap underneath. It's just a little bit extra, and it forces you to lean all the way up and get that core engaged. Now you want to stay, if you can, hollow rock position, and just a little bit more challenging. Try to keep that lower back flat on the floor. Just gonna be that much more difficult. 5 each on that. Next up, high knees. Fast, short reaction time. It's power week, okay? As soon as those toes touch, you're trying to bring them off the ground, keeping the knees high up as well. That's gonna jack your heart rate up a little bit. You're doing that for 15 seconds. Your next up is a sumo deadlift high pull. So we know the deal with the sumo deadlift, right? Keeping a hinge position, feet are out a little wider than shoulder width, toes slightly pointed out, make sure the knees stay above the ankles, hinging at the waist, flat back, and we're pulling from our upper back. Right side profile view is here, hinge, pull from your upper back, squeeze those elbows back. Now, put an asterisk next to it. If you have a band, you want to work on a little bit more power, speed. Loop that band up as if you're doing a kettlebell swing with a band, which we've done before. Sumo stance as well. Back nice and flat. Hips are back. Pulling up, but you have to do it fast, because that band's going to want to slingshot you down. Okay, so this is a power move, obviously. Be prepared for it if you are doing it. Same kind of rules apply, with the exception of making those reps as fast as possible and controlling that on the way down. Because that band wants to pull you down. You have to force those shoulders back and get that upper back engaged. Next up, we're doing 10 of those. Either one. Next up, Pendlay rows. We're doing deadlifts today. Deadlifts are our work exercise. So the Pendlay row is going to help prep you for that. You're folding over at the waist, keeping that hinge position. Back is flat. If you have 2 kettlebells, cool. If you don't, use dumbbells and put them on something so you could work on starting from a stop position. That's what a Pendlay row is. Every time you go back down to the floor, weight should stop movement. And you're working on reaction time. How fast can you get those dumbbells or kettlebells off the ground? Or barbell. You're doing 6 reps of those. 6 Pendlay rows. That's your warmability. Your work period. Power exercise today is a deadlift. Barbell or dumbbell, your call. And obviously you know the deal, we're doing progressive overload, and then we have a superset, which is a hold, which is going to be a great superset, right Coach Adam? Hollow rock, we'll get to that in a second. But your progressive overload is going to be 12, 8, 5, 3, 3, 3. A couple things you should pay attention to when you're doing a deadlift. Any variation of the deadlift, whether it be a barbell or a dumbbell. Two components that'll save your back. Learning how to fold over at your waist, which you guys just did for your Pendlay row, and making sure your shoulders are back and your upper back is flat. Your whole back, really. But if those muscles in your upper back are engaged, chances are your back's going to stay flat, especially if you're doing the hinge correctly. Right? So that bar stays close to your body. Stop, press the floor away, and think about combining a squat, pressing the floor away, and also that Pendlay row that you just did. Learning how to pull that weight off the ground, combining your hips and your shoulders, brings you the deadlift. Okay? Now, your call. You can obviously increase weight. You have more weight here. Natalie, if you're using dumbbells, if you're using kettlebells, whatever you're using, you can still obviously follow those principles. Deadlift rules still apply, kettlebell or barbell or dumbbell, whatever you got. If you want to try putting that band, stepping on it, and putting it through towards maybe the 5th and the 3rd rep round, just to increase tension on your weights, that might be an idea for you. Your hold is going to be a hollow hold, kind of like what you just did with your straight leg raise. Make sure that lower back is flat, point your toes, squeeze your quads, shoulder blades are off the ground, heels are off the ground, and you're just chilling out right here. I put a range on the board, 30 to 45 seconds. Why? Because if you can't hold, if you're trying to hold for 45 seconds, but 20 of those seconds you're in shitty posture, it's not worth it. Give me a solid 30 seconds is better than a shitty 45, right? So if you can maintain that good strong posture and core, then go for the 45. If not, give a solid 30. It's just as beneficial. Make sense? Timing, we're probably going to get through the 6 rounds in probably just shy of 18 minutes. Make sense? You guys know the deal. Every 3 minutes you're starting a new round. Sorry, kicking that out of the way. It's my speech. All right, guys, finisher time. While you're resting and recovering, I'm just gonna walk through the finisher. You guys know the deal. Those of you who have been here this week, holds. We're gonna try to use that same working weight that we just used for our work period as our starting weight in the finisher. Okay, so the hold is gonna happen at the top of the position, top of the movement. So you're working on your grip strength, you're working on pulling those shoulder blades back, you're working on your lats being engaged. While you're standing here and holding, you're squeezing your glutes, keeping your trunk nice and tight. Back is flat, try not to let your shoulders round. Really pull the shoulders back. So everything's engaged. You'll hear me say 3, 2, 1 rep. Right back in position like a soldier. 3, 2, 1 rep. Back up. Okay, looking for fast reps. For the first section, you may be able to try to use the same weight. As we go lower into the finisher, as we do those 5-second holds, you may have to go lighter and use dumbbells or kettlebells, or just lighten the load on your deadlift weight. So it's going to be so you're going to have to move that quick. It's only a 5-second hold. Make sense? Cool. Let's rock and roll.